guys, welcome to Ballynockin Cookery School. I'm Catherine and I want to show you how to make my beautiful turkey veg meatballs with tomato sauce. The whole idea is to be a little bit healthier, to squeeze in those extra veg into our meals, and that's what I want to do here, because you know we're supposed to be having 30 different fruits and veg a week, a whole variety, which is supposed to be really good for our healthy gut, and a healthy gut is a healthy body. So where do we start? Well, I have a few things. I've already done a bit of the chopping for you, so you don't have to worry about that. I'll show you what we're going to do. We have our bowl. We have our very healthy lean turkey mince, so pop that in. We also have some garlic going in. We want some rosemary in there because herbs are so good for you. A little bit of thyme goes in there. Here we have some onions. So at this point, I'm just going to pop in the onion and see how it goes. There's about half a red onion going into the whole recipe. And then carrot goes in. The carrot's quite moist, so that's going to bring a nice bit of texture to it. And then the courgette. So with the courgette, I do like to squeeze the juice out of the courgette first because a lot of juice comes out. Look at that. Yeah, it's a good idea. So you can just get it in your hand and squeeze it. That's all grated. Next, seasoning. Loves a bit of seasoning. Our turkey mince does. So nice bit of salt goes in. Nice bit of pepper. We start to give that a little mix up. And then we bind it with egg. So look at it. It's full of colour. It's full of goodness. And you have your meat and your veg all in the one dish. So whilst you're still getting your really healthy protein, you're also getting in your veg with it, which is what we want. So we have our egg here. So I'm just going to beat up my egg and just put in as I need. And this is what's going to bind them. So in that goes. At this point, I have to put my hands in and give this a good mix up. Give this a good mix. Now, as you mix, it depends on the vegetables. Sometimes the veggies are just that little bit more wet than other times. So, you know, it's just to do with the moisture in the veg. So you just got to kind of eyeball it to see how you want to bring it together. I have, and I always have on standby, some breadcrumbs. So you can get gluten-free breadcrumbs if you want, but just pop in some breadcrumbs and it just helps dry it out to help bind, because it's important that this binds beautifully. It's not that the turkey mince is wet, it's that you've added your veggies in and you added a little bit of egg to bind. So you've just always got to be mindful that in order to make your meatballs, you need the right texture. So you see, that is perfect texture for that. Now, I have my oven on. So my oven's on high temperature, 220 to 230. And I'm just going to put these straight into the oven. So one hand is already wet and I'm just going to wet the other hand just lightly. Okay, and then we just start making our meatballs, because a wet hand just helps to form the meatballs. And if you weren't sure about the seasoning, what you could do is you could actually just fry off a little bit of this meat and just get that flavour correct for yourself. You know, if you thought, oh, I'm not sure how much salt, how much pepper to put in, a good tip really is just to take a little bit, fry it off, and then you'll know whether you've got it right or not. That's a tip we give all the time here in our cookery school. But it's so healthy. And you know what's great about putting the veg in with the meat as well? You're halfway there with your dinner. Bit of broccoli on the side now with this, or some asparagus in season. You're well on your way to having a really great array of veggies. Now, into the oven for these to bake. And when these are baking, we'll make our tomato sauce. Okay, on to the next part of the recipe. So for that, I have my hob ready to go. I've got this beautiful pan on, a lovely Le Creuset style pan. And all we need to do basically is make our tomato sauce. It's very, very simple. And I'm starting with tomato puree. I have a bit of parsley or basil or whatever you want. I have stock and tomatoes. Normally I wouldn't put stock in, but I want to slow cook this and just let it reduce down. So the stock is bringing a bit of flavour to it and it's giving it a chance to slow cook while we're waiting on our lovely meatballs. So in goes our tomato puree. I have the heat on underneath. Then there's our sieve tomatoes. So that's our passata. You can use canned tomatoes either. Our stock. I'm going to put in my parsley now, and I can always put a little bit more on later. I'm going with a little bit of sugar. You don't need too much, but just a little bit of sugar. Most importantly, we need seasoning. So we need a bit of pepper and we need some salt. Give that a stir and just let this heat through. Turn the heat down low and just let it slow cook. And then when the turkey and vegetable meatballs are done, I can pop them in here and let them cook in here for another few minutes so that the flavours all blend together. So you go make yourself a cup of tea and give me a couple of minutes and I'll have dinner ready. So time to check these meatballs. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful colour. Lovely and firm. And now they go into the tomato sauce and then they just absorb the flavour of the tomato sauce. So we have this with turkey mince, but you could do the same recipe with beef mince or pork mince. Oh my goodness, be beautiful with pork mince. Lowest heat possible, just putting the lid on, literally just for those flavours to come together. I'm going to give them 2 to 3 minutes and then they're good to serve. So we're ready to serve up. These are our turkey and veg meatballs in our tomato sauce, and here I have my courgette. So this here is literally just spiralized courgette that just saw water. Don't leave it simmering in the water for too long. You can, if you want, microwave it as well. So let's get this onto the plate. I'm going to put a little bit of this all around because I just love the color of it. And now we have our beautiful tomato sauce with our turkey and veg meatballs. How healthy is that? Turkey, veg meatballs, tomato sauce, and courgette or spiralized courgette. I think you will love this and it will really make you 10% healthier. Check out the recipe below.